everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, August 3rd. I'm Michael Taylor. How do we know it's Saturday? I'm at the desk. It's as simple as that. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope you're watching some Olympics, getting out. It is hot, but I can't do much about that. On the show today, I can do a lot about what's going on the show today. And we have City of Hope surgical oncologist Dr. Natalie Johnson joining us, talking about the latest innovations they have in treatments for breast cancer and a lot of other cancers over at City of Hope. So I enjoyed that conversation with her. And then 72nd District update with Assembly Member Diane Dixon. We're going to be talking about the new Marion-Bergeson Bridge. We're going to be talking about e-bike legislation. We're going to be talking about all sorts of cleanups at the beach. So really good conversation with her. So stay tuned for that one as well. Right now, we want you to meet the candidates. We have the candidates. They had lots of turnout for people who wanted to submit. And the third has their candidate meeting coming up on August 16th. It's going to be Meet the Candidates event in the Community Center boardroom, and it's going to be broadcast right here on Village Television at 10:30 a.m. on August 16th. So get out there and ask those questions to the candidates if you can make it out there, or watch it right here. And then United's going to hold theirs on the next Friday after that, on the 23rd. They'll be in the Community Center right here in the boardroom and broadcast on Village Television at 10:30 a.m. So it's your opportunity to go out there and meet the candidates, ask the questions, and hear what their positions are on the important issues that you care about in your community. Hey, let's take a look outside at our weather. And it is warm. There's no getting around it. 88 degrees today is going to be our high. It's going to feel warmer because of the humidity. Just a little less hot tomorrow, 86 degrees, and pretty much the same for Monday. Mostly sunny and very, very warm. So stay cool if you can. Stay in the shade or stay indoors or go to one of the cooling centers we have around here. Hey, let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset. And we got a really cool butterfly shot, a beautiful monarch butterfly. Thank you, Ben Givens, for sending this one in to us. Got that one over the plants by his house. Sunrise this morning was 6:05. Sunset tonight is going to be 7:48 p.m. If you'd like to send us a sunrise picture, sunset picture, butterflies, pets, whatever you have around town, we'll take them. Email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. And make sure you include your name and where you took the picture, and we will use it in our sunrise sunset segment. Okay, when we come back, we'll be talking to surgical oncologist Dr. Natalie Johnson from City of Hope. Stay with us.
When we talk about cancer, we talk about how we're going to beat it. We talk about the 100 million lives impacted every year because of City of Hope's discoveries, and our team of more than 1,600 cancer specialists, all dedicated to ending cancer and giving you hope.
Welcome back to This Day. I want to welcome from the City of Hope Cancer Center, I want to welcome Dr. Natalie Johnson. Dr. Johnson, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Your specialties are in oncology and cancer treatment, thyroid cancer, breast cancer. So I want to kind of start off with cancer treatment. It comes with a lot of emotions and a lot of questions for people. So what are the things that the most important thing that you can do when you first sit down with someone who's just recently been diagnosed? What is that like?
Yeah, so I'm a surgical oncologist, and I do surgery primarily for breast cancer, thyroid and parathyroid tumors, and melanoma. And when patients are coming to see me, it's usually after they've just gotten a phone call or with their biopsy results, or maybe don't even have their biopsy results yet, or don't have a lot of information. And so I think the time between getting that diagnosis and seeing me is sometimes the hardest part, because when you don't have any information, then it's all just kind of the fear of the unknown. So my hope in my first meeting with a patient is that they come away with knowledge and information, a plan that they feel comfortable with and confident in, and hope, realistic hope. So
Well,
that's my goals in the first meeting.
And one of the things I imagine is they're jumping into a whole new world that you know about, but they don't. They probably never, they've never been diagnosed like this before. They've never gone through cancer treatment before. So it's a first time for them. So it's an overwhelming feeling, right? When they come in there and they don't know what to think.
Right. And there's Dr. Google, and there's good things out there and bad things out there online. And it's hard because even the good stuff, cancer care is so nuanced that really a patient's treatment plan is tailored for them and their specific cancer. So even the experience that a friend or family member, say with breast cancer, that whatever treatment that they had or experience they had, it might not translate to the patient I'm seeing, or the information that they read online. It isn't possible to find out what all these nuances, because it depends on the type of the cancer, the stage of the cancer, a number of other factors. So yeah, my goal is to give the patients that information. It's a lot of I see my role as a patient educator, just to help my patients make the decisions give them the information to make the decisions that are right for them.
And I think the good news in cancer treatment these days is there are a lot of new innovations, a lot of things that you are bringing to the table that just weren't available 10, 15 years ago. What are some of the kind of innovations, the new treatments, the new plans that you can do in terms of maybe not even having to do surgeries in some cases, things like that?
Yeah, there are. It's evolving all of the time, and I couldn't even take the time to list everything, but there's advances in the areas of detection. So earlier detection, better imaging. For breast cancer, we're working on a new imaging technology that's a photoacoustic, that uses a water bath rather than compression. We're looking at new tumor localization techniques and navigation techniques to remove less breast tissue and have a better chance of getting the whole cancer out. We're doing more aesthetically pleasing surgeries. We can more often spare the woman's whole breast or the nipple if they need a mastectomy. Advances to try to preserve sensation to the chest so that they can feel the hug of a loved one. It's endless. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
the time. It's the exciting part of it that draws me into it.
Well, I was going to ask, going to be my next question in terms of the what you do and what you're able to do for patients. What kind of feeling do you get in terms of a sense of accomplishment or a sense of like you're really making a difference in these people's lives?
Um, I would say, to me, that depends on what the patient's either fears or goals are, because those then become my priorities. To me, long-term survival and giving them the best chance of their cancer not coming back, that's just the low bar. That's the assumed. Beyond that, it's preserving their quality of life. So, if it's a hobby or a job that requires them to continue using their arm, to do everything I can to decrease the chance of them getting a complication called lymphedema after their breast surgery, or if it's a patient who has back pain and shoulder pain, sometimes we can find a silver lining and do like a breast reduction and a lift at the same time as their cancer surgery. So, really it's finding out what my patients either, kind of fears or goals are, and aligning them with my own to do everything I can to achieve those.
It sounds like you're part of your job as a doctor is to develop that relationship with your patient, and it's a two-way street. You need to know their needs, they understand where you're coming from and what the goals are, right?
Yeah, going into medicine, I thought I wanted to be a primary care doctor. And so as a sub specialist, I'm far from that, but I do appreciate that I have long-term relationships with my patients, sometimes 5 years or more. And um, like I said, a lot of my job is just patient education and getting to know them to make decisions together about their treatments.
Now, City of Hope isn't just cancer treatment, but it's also research. What are some of the things that you know about that are going on there, you might be involved in terms of research, in terms of what might be coming on the horizon?
So a lot. Everything
Where do I
from
start?
kind of the clinical, application side to the science, really sciencey side. On the clinical side, we're one center who's there. We're doing nipple sparing mastectomies robotically, which results in a smaller incision that's out of view and potentially better blood supply and better sensation to the breast. We're developing new drugs and trialing those drugs. We're looking at new treatments to combat side effects from really effective cancer therapies. We're really interested in integrative oncology and have a lot of trials and funding for that. So that's a start.
That's a good start. That's not a bad start at all. As a surgical oncologist, you not only deal with breast cancer, but you also have thyroid cancer and melanomas and those kind of things. Are there connections between those three areas that maybe some people don't realize, or are they just sometimes you could have one and just later on you might have another? Or...
They are interrelated, the thyroid and breast. They're both kind of part of their glandular tissues. They're part of the endocrine system. So there is a small link where if somebody has a breast cancer, their chance of getting thyroid cancer in the future is slightly higher, and vice versa. And they tend to both affect women more often, kind of middle-aged. So by occurring more often in the same demographic, I often find a lot of cancers, if somebody's sent to me for a thyroid cancer and they haven't had a mammogram in several years, I get their mammogram. If they're sent to me for a breast cancer and I do a thyroid exam and feel a nodule, which is common and there's no screening for it, sometimes I find a thyroid cancer. So it really enables me to take kind of full care of my patients by integrating those specialties.
What is it about City of Hope that brought you there and drew you there in terms of what they're doing in terms of treatment of cancer?
It gives me the resources to provide all the best cutting edge care for my patients and support for my patients. I think when it comes to cancer, where you get care matters. So I wanted to work at a place that has that mindset and that gives my patients access to all the latest and best treatments and is always kind of advancing the field and pushing the envelope, but with a patient-centered frame of mind.
There you go. Well, Dr. Johnson, Natalie Johnson from City of Hope, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and kind of giving us an insight on your world and the treatment people can get there. Thanks for joining us. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Someone asked me recently, what is Thrive? Thrive is a group in the village that seeks to inspire quality living in every chapter of our lives. They asked, how do you do that? We bring people together and promote themes such as kindness, positivity, joyfulness, resilience, and mindfulness in a complex world, as these behaviors enhance wellness and increase cognitive and physical health. Come thrive with us at our next event. Just RSVP by emailing us.
An update on some of the politics happening in Sacramento and right here in Orange County. To do that, we have Assemblymember Diane Dixon here, who represents Laguna Woods. Thank you for joining us.
I do. Well, thank you, Michael. I'm delighted to be here. Always delighted. This is my third or fourth time on your TV program here in Laguna Woods. I just love it.
You've been dodging me. I never get to interview you.
I'm here now, and I'll come again.
Good.
Because there's always so much to talk about.
Well, one of the big things that's going on is your senior scam prevention meetings that you're having.
Yes.
You had one here. You're having them in the communities around here.
Correct.
How big a challenge is it for seniors and the scams that they're inundated with?
Huge. It's a huge problem, and that's why we are having these senior scam summit meetings, town hall meetings. This is the one we're having today in Laguna Woods is the third or fourth we've had. And the representative from the state, this California State Department of Finance, Banking and Financial Institution Innovation. It's kind of a long title, but it used to be called the Department of State Finance Department. Yeah. But her job, and I'm very grateful, Jackie Wiley is a manager of in the agency. She does go around to communities as requested. I mean, it's free. Come and hear about how you could protect yourself. And she's very energetic and she's funny. But it's not only just having these meetings, it's reached the legislative level. And actually, when we get back to Sacramento next week, we have 4 more weeks before we adjourn. There is a bill pending for this issue entirely. I've heard so many sad stories. Seniors who go to the bank teller and say, I need to withdraw $10,000 because somebody from Africa has called them and said that they're stuck and they need help. Right, there's some grandkid or niece or nephew or something like that. And they're vulnerable. The seniors are vulnerable. And so this bill that's pending, and it's working out with the financial institutions because they have certain concerns of liability if they're the ones the money gets given and who's at fault. Well, probably will work out that a family member needs to co-sign or be called anyway. If somebody comes to the teller, then there'll be a numbered family member or a contact to call to say, so-and-so is here at the teller stand, wants $10,000 out of his or her account. Is this okay? That's kind of where it is right now because it is such a prevalent problem. Well, I'm glad the safeguards are going in on the legislative side of things because I know we've all heard the stories about people being scammed out of tens of thousands of dollars. Oh, yes. And it comes at everybody from every direction. And from the United, have you ever seen the one from USPS? We need an address to deliver. Yeah. I've seen. I mean, I get them. I did too. And I recognize. I had to pause. I go, could this be true? I'm not waiting for a package. Yeah. And why would I have to do this? They know how to get a hold of me. So we all have to be, not just seniors. We all have to be on guard. They're so clever. The scam artists. Yep, absolutely. They're after us. Some fun things to talk about, though. Nonprofit of the year right here in our own backyard. I know. It's so, there are so many wonderful things about serving in Sacramento, and thank you for allowing me to share. There are good stories. People say, why are you in Sacramento? It's just crazy. But there are good stories. And every year, all of us as elected representatives can nominate a nonprofit of the year. And this year I nominated and we awarded the honor to Age Well Senior Services. I'm familiar with them because they are all over Orange County. Right, and everybody here in this community is certainly familiar with them. And I've gone out on their deliveries. It's an interesting experience because often the senior is living alone or there's a couple. A man and a woman or 2 women or whatever, but they're alone. Right. And they can't get out to get their meals. And so it's 3 meals a day and 1 delivery. And what's really wonderful, I encourage people to volunteer just to ride along with them and participate in this process, is they just are grateful to talk to somebody who's... Right, and that connection is almost as important as the food. Yes, and they're sad when you leave. And so it's really heartwarming to have that experience and know that they're getting good meals a day. And Age Well is a wonderful organization. They're wonderful people. And the gentleman who's the CEO, he's been with the organization. He used to be in finance, in business, and was very successful in business. And this is what he does in retirement. And he is as hard as in this. And it's very successful and reaches a lot of people in our communities, and it's really important. Yeah, some of the retirees here do more important work than when they were actually in the job market. Yes, that's amazing. Right. It's amazing some of the things that folks are doing out here. How about a quick legislative update of things that are highlights that are coming and things that have happened? Well, thank you for asking. A lot has happened in literally the last few months, budget related. I don't know how people get into the weeds on budget. I happen to like budgets because I think we spend too much money in Sacramento. We don't know where it goes. Right. But as going forward on November's ballot, there is an important ballot measure, Proposition 36, related to public safety. And it was placed on the ballot, a citizens' initiative. It got 900,000 signatures, so people want safe communities. And it would tighten up the loosened criminal laws, penal laws, sentencing laws that the people passed in 2014 in Prop 47. So this is the Prop 47 cleanup. Right. And it's been a struggle to get it onto the ballot with 900,000 signatures. And then there was a movement that made it rather dramatic in Sacramento in June to have a competing ballot measure from the governor to really literally to confuse the voters.
Right,
so there would be
happen.
And
that's
so,
politics.
Yeah, so that didn't happen. There was a bipartisan resistance, and so that didn't happen. And so there's the Proposition 36, and complementing that will be a series of new laws if they pass before August 31st and are signed by the governor. I think he will sign many of them, that really strengthen up the retail theft laws. It really is returning shoplifting, for example, to be a crime, violent crime that had no penalties or reduced from felonies to misdemeanors. So it's really good to help make our city safe.
Yeah, we got that pendulum swings back and forth sometimes. They've just got to find that sweet spot wherever it's working for everybody.
Right.
One bill I know that you had interest in is the e-bike bill.
Okay. Well, that's related to public safety. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All over California, electeds are wrestling with the e-bike situation.
And they've exploded in the past 5 or 6 years.
Yes, and so what it is, you have, people love bikes. It's really a great...
I have an e-bike.
It's a great form of transportation, although I do know in this community, Laguna Woods, everybody has a golf cart. So this bill could apply. I never thought of golf carts, but it really, my bill that's signed into law makes it prohibitive. It's prohibited to buy a speed enhancer. And they're devices. I never knew about this. There are devices people can put on their bikes. They're very difficult to discern with the naked eye. Police have a difficult time really seeing them on a bike. That's why we're prohibiting the sale. Amazon is a big seller of these. I mean, not intentionally trying to whatever, but the point is that's where people get them on Amazon. That's where people get them, right. And so this would enhance the built-in speed limiter on an e-bike and take it up to 38 miles per hour. So that's now prohibited against the law.
And it is dangerous. I mean, these kids, it's great for these kids. It's great for a lot of people in the community. It expands their range of where they can go and things they can do, especially in the summertime. But you're driving by a kid and you're going 40 miles an hour and they're keeping up with you. It seems a little bit dangerous. Well,
just a quick comment about the senior community, because that, except for Laguna Woods and their golf carts, most senior communities are thrilled with this new bill because they want to ride e-bikes to the grocery store. Maybe they don't have their driver's license anymore, but they can be mobile. And so I'm really pleased for everyone can benefit. Safer communities.
And when you got into politics, one of your mentors back in the day was Marian Bergeson, who I've met, and she was a wonderful politician and kind of ran the gamut of things that she did here in California in terms of positions she served. You helped get a bridge, a PCH
bridge. Thank you for asking. Marian was one of my mentors and role models going way back decades, and she lived in Newport Beach, where I served on the Newport Beach City Council, so I reconnected with her after many years. So she passed away. It's been about 8 or 9 years now. And so I had to go through a long process with Caltrans and get a resolution passed unanimously, and so all great. We will be naming a bridge in Newport Beach on PCH that it goes over the front bay, if you will. From the harbor to the bay on PCH. It will be the Marian Bergeson Bridge. We are dedicating it on Friday, September 13th at 10 a.m., open to the public.
Fun.
And it will be a wonderful way to recognize a wonderful woman who served, the first woman to serve in the State Assembly, the first woman to serve in the State Senate.
In Orange County Supervisor, first woman.
Orange County Supervisor, member of the California Transportation Commission. An amazing woman, and I'm proud to honor her.
Well, it's a great honor and
so
well
please come,
deserved.
anyone who can, 10 o'clock, September 13th.
I can't wait to drive over that bridge now.
Yes, I think of Marian every day.
Some of the things you also are concerned with is the environmental issues here in Orange County. Can you name a couple of things that are kind of top of mind?
Well, I'll tell you, my district, I have a wonderful district, 37 miles of coastline. So keeping our beaches clean is really important. And so I've done, as many people have done, beach cleanups, right? That's really a wonderful nonprofit community activity. I really wanted to get to the root cause. What is bringing trash to our beaches, which is particularly noticeable, not just normal beach activity and people littering our beaches. After upstream, the rainstorms, when we have heavy rain, all this trash from the shores, from the flood channel shores, all rushes down. Seal Beach, it's in my district. It's like a dump. After a major storm.
And they say don't even go in the water after 48 hours after the rain.
It's shocking. And so Newport Beach, similar thing, San Diego Creek would bring trash down to the back bay in the Newport Harbor trash. There's a water wheel. So when I was on the city council, when I was mayor, I was part of expediting this water wheel. It's under construction now. Took about $6 million, cobbling together state and local funds. We got it. We're doing this now in Seal Beach. So we want to address the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Do you know about this?
Yes.
It's the size of the state of Texas.
Exactly. It's a monster.
It's a monster. And it's all this trash that comes out of our rivers into the Pacific Ocean and works its way to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Some of ours, not all of ours, but some of it.
All over the
it's
world.
all over the world,
But
really.
we do contribute our share. Our share.
More than
so
our
I'm
fair
trying to
share, I'm
stop
sure.
it. That's a process, and then creating awareness. So thank you for asking the question. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I'm spreading the word. I have 3 grandsons who live in New York City. They ask me what I'm doing. They're 12, 10, and 8. I said, have you ever heard of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? They know about it in New York City.
Yeah.
People know about it. We have to create awareness and stop this trash going into our beautiful oceans.
Absolutely. That's a bipartisan issue everybody should be able to get behind.
Exactly.
From the 72nd District, Assemblymember Diane Dixon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Michael, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Tickets are on sale now at the PAC for the California Club's entertainment event, Kenny Soteris Chicago Experience, a tribute to the band Chicago. Saturday, August 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at the PAC. Kenny and his 7-piece band with a 3-horn section will produce the true sound of the original Chicago band. The evening will highlight all the best of Chicago with songs like 25 or 6 to 4, Hard to Say I'm Sorry, and If You Leave Me Now, and more. You don't want to miss this one.
And welcome back. Let's talk about our Saturday movie. And just when you thought we were done busting all the ghosts, there were no more to arrest, there's another one to arrest. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is going to be the movie. It stars Bill Murray and a bunch of cast members from the new and the old movies. And it's brought to us by Hogue. 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And it's the Spenger family returning to the iconic New York firehouse where the original Ghostbusters took place. And they start doing their ghost busting all over again. Not only do they need to save their family from this one, they need to save the world from an upcoming ice age. I guess the ghosts are making things very cold for everybody. All right, let's take a look outside at our weather. And it is going to be very warm for the weekend and into next week. High 80s and mid 80s for really this weekend and Monday as the high pressure kind of stays put. And we got a little monsoon moisture as well, so making things a little more humid. But hot temperatures, try to stay cool. Do your best for that. Monday on the program, we're going to talk to Caring Senior Service and the folks from the Democratic Club. So enjoy that show. I'll be here as well. So if that helps at all, making you want to tune in. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.